In this episode I got you guys a brand new release from GVM. This is the GVM 850D, which is supposed to replace, or it is an upgrade from the GVM 800D. I'm actually reviewing a set of 3 lights today, but you can also opt to buy the one that comes with 2 lights only if you don't need the 3rd light. But if you decide to get the one with the 3 light kit over here, you can actually use one as a key light right here with the Softbox that also GVM also makes. And to use this one here as a hair light, with or without the grid or whatever you want to do, and the other one to shine some RGB on the background, or also whatever way you prefer to light your background here. And the same exact thing you can do with the one with the 2 lights as a key light and the other one as a background light or as a hair light. The GVM 850D is an upgrade from the older GVM 800D, in which they added here another 376 LED lights, plus it's supposed to be 3.6 times brighter than the 800D, which I'm going to be testing later on in the video here. Whichever option that you choose here, either with the 3 light kit or the 2 light kit, it also comes with the case, which GVM fortunately makes a case for almost everything that they sell, because what I don't like here is when I receive a light from whatever brand or manufacturer, I have the light with the card box and the accessories, good, but it doesn't come with the case. So that I don't like, because good luck finding a case that will fit whatever light that you bought that doesn't come with the case. So GVM pretty much makes a case for everything, and that to me is a huge plus. And the case that the 3 light kit comes with is a rather compact case, is a wider case, but I thought they sent me the wrong thing. I'm gonna send you the 3 lights, and then I thought they sent me the 2 lights. No, actually it is the 3 lights, because the 3rd light is actually housed underneath the case on a 2nd compartment, together with the power cords and everything, but everything is separate, nothing touches anything, which is another big plus. And here's what the case looks like. It comes with 2 compartments. The zipper number 1 is going to house the 2 GVM lights, which comes with the pouches and everything, and the 2nd compartment you're going to find the 3rd light, and also the 3 power cords, and also the 3 power adapters, and also comes with a divider that doesn't scratch anything. And you're going to find on the very bottom of the case 3 light stands, all wrapped up in velvet. Now again, as you can see, you can use this with the Softbox and the light itself here without anything, or also with the barn doors. They also make a Softbox like this, and I just discovered that they actually make a grid, like not with the Softbox, the grid made for the 850D, which I'm also going to be placing the link in the description here. That I didn't know, so there you go. You can actually buy that as well if you like, or if you need. Now this is something that confuses a lot of people, because GVM releases a bunch of different models, and I'm here to answer pretty much all the questions that's going to be probably placed on the comment section there. So these panels, they are all 40 watts. I'm talking about the GVM 800D and the 850D. The other lights, the 50RS, as the name suggests, is a 50 watt panel, but these lights here, they are 40 watts panels. And also the 800D is also a 40 watt panel. The software is identical, the effects are identical, everything is identical to the 800D, except the fact that they added 360 some LEDs here, and these LEDs, they are brighter, because the 800D, inside of the light here, as you can see, the LEDs, they are more on a flood type, which looks like this here. And these lights here, not only they added more LEDs, they have some sort of a lens that actually helps you project the light further, which makes this light at least 3.5 to 4 times brighter than the 800D. With that said, you're definitely going to need a Softbox if you plan to do a key lighting, or to put some extra diffusion in front of this light here, if you opt not to get the GVM Softbox or any other Softbox that might fit here. Because the panel itself is not enough to provide a nice soft light for the key light. So these lights here, again, they are actually good for throwing light far away, better than the flood types. And if that's what you want to do, use the light like this here. You can also remove the front diffuser here. This is more like to protect the LEDs, because the level of diffusion here is very minimal. I remember the very old GVM lights, which I have a very old 50RS, the front diffuser is a very milky looking, very dense, thick diffusion, and now they're starting to make this light with a thinner diffuser, which again provides a better light throw than the actual super diffuser they usually put in here, because it reduces the brightness of the light. So again, in that case, if you decide to use the light with this little diffuser here, or with nothing on it, you can actually have a stronger light. As soon as you start to putting diffusion here, or your softbox, anything that blocks the light, obviously you're gonna lose light intensity. So there are 2 ways to do this. You're gonna increase your ISO, your aperture, or place the light closer to your face. That's in case you wanted to use one with the softbox and to have to compete with the other 2 ones without any diffusion in the front here. So you're gonna have this, for example, 100%, and this one's here at a lesser percent, so they will be equally in brightness. And this is not the first GVM panel that you guys seen, and you pretty much know everything about these lights here. But just in case, this is a fanless light. There's no fan here, and all the heat dissipation happens through the body itself here. This can get pretty hot if you leave the light on at 100% a long time, especially summertime, but the light is built for that. And just in case something goes wrong with your light, these lights, they come with a 1-year warranty. And GVM, when I used to be a customer before I was a reviewer for, you know, like YouTube stuff, the customer service is amazing. Anything wrong with the light, they actually take care of whatever it is wrong with the light very quickly, and this is the experience that I actually had with GVM. Which, also a quick disclaimer here, GVM has sent me this light for me to test it out, and I'm not affiliated with GVM. I'm not paid to say anything here. This video is not sponsored by GVM. All I'm doing here is to review some lights for you guys, and that doesn't alter my opinion. My words are my own. These lights do not come with any remote control, as you know, but you can actually wirelessly operate the light using the GVM app, which there are two, because GVM usually makes Wi-Fi lights, and now they actually transition into the Bluetooth finally, because I've been asking them a long time to stop making the Wi-Fi lights, because with the Wi-Fi, as soon as you connect to the lights network here, you lost your phone's internet. You can't receive email, anything online coming or going, right? Now all these new lights here, they are run with the Bluetooth, which is great. So you don't even need to bother with your phone setting to actually find the Bluetooth there. The light just finds the thing and just works, which is pretty similar to the Godox apps. Now here's something that people always get confused with these panels here, because which one is the Wi-Fi and which one is the actual Bluetooth? Because before you order, people ask me in the comments, oh, are you sure this is gonna be with the Bluetooth? They're afraid to order the old style. It's very simple. The GVM 850D, for example, runs on Wi-Fi, which has the old school little blue and with a white text display there. Every single light from GVM that has this black OLED display here, don't worry about it, because these are the lights that actually run on Bluetooth. So if you see this back panel on your listing there, whatever light that you're buying, the new 50RS or any other light that comes with this black display here, relax, because that's actually going to be a Bluetooth operated light. So they still have to keep the two apps, but they're two separate apps. The old school apps, which relies on Wi-Fi, is the GVM Easily application. The Bluetooth one, you have to find the GVM 2, which is the actual logo that represents the Bluetooth application in which these lights are accepting. Now one thing here before you decide to buy a softbox here, as with most light panels, you can't use this light if you want to tilt, because it limits the tilting. As you can see here, the softbox or the barn doors, they do get in the way. So the spigot here, there are two holes in which you can actually mount the light vertical instead, in which allows you to have free mobility, almost 320 degrees with this light. And the same usual deal here on the back of the display, you have your brightness from 0 to 100% in 1% increments, and the color temperature range from 3200 degrees Kelvin all the way to 5600 degrees Kelvin. There are a few panels out there, even if you're using both the daylight or the tungsten light, even at 4500 degrees Kelvin, the light, the software itself compensates so the light doesn't get brighter, which doesn't throw off your exposure. But most panels like this here, as soon as you go 42 to 4600 degrees Kelvin, which is the daylight and the tungsten light at the same time, you're gonna have this light at its brightest setting. I don't know exactly how much brighter that is, but keep in mind that at this setting, the light is gonna be brighter than only at 5600 or only at 3200 degrees Kelvin. Without the app, to access the RGBs here, you press the right button once, and then you are at the HSI settings, which can range from 0 to 360. Press it once again, you access your saturation, and press it again, you go back to the CCT. And the top buttons with the arrows here is where you're gonna change your channels from 01 to 12. And the mode button here, you have a rotate, then your slave, then your master, and then your app. The rotate is very similar to the master, because you can actually control the brightness or whatever it is they want to do here. Now the slave mode, you cannot control this light anymore with the buttons until you switch back to either master or the rotate. So all the operations are going to be from these lights over here when you set this to master and this one here to slave, or that one to slave. And when you use the app, again, you cannot use or control the buttons here on the back, because the light is not going to be responding. The app is going to be doing all the controlling here. Now to gain access to the buttons here, again, this light has to be either on rotate or master. Another thing that's cool about the new lights here that GVM makes is because they actually provide now a little battery, little gauge or meter. It doesn't mean it's anything accurate, but at least you know, at least if you're like, you know, half gone, or if your battery is about to die. At least it's something here. The barn doors, tension here, the little doors, they stay tight for a long time. I've never seen mine go loose, but in the event it does go loose, all you need is a regular small Phillips screwdriver. This screw is right here, so a little bit of tightening and this go back to brand new again. This light here, the yoke is actually aluminum, and the back of the light is also aluminum. Batteries are not included, you have to buy your own. And the only thing plastic here is the actual little control box here. Everything else is metal except the front light, which is also plastic with the diffuser. But the actual circuit board is made of a whatever material circuit board is made of. Did you actually know you can also run this light through V-mount? All you need to do is to have a DC barrel cable here, because this light requirements is 15 volts and the V-mount battery is up to 16 volts, so 1 volt more or less is not going to matter with the light, it's not going to hurt anything. Another great thing about this light over here, because every light that you buy that only has a on-off regular switch, when you actually insert a Sony battery here, dangerous current can actually be flowing here on the battery terminal, so as long as your batteries are attached here, when you're using the AC mode, you're actually going to be hurting the battery or possibly even damaging the battery to a point of no repair. That current or voltage has nothing to do with what it takes to charge any battery. So thanks to this dual switch here, because you have the off and then the DC adapter only or the DC only. So battery only, off, and DC adapter only. So as long as you are on the AC here, no current is flowing over here. So this is another pretty cool thing about the GVM lights. So who are these lights for here? I've seen some YouTubers, the ones that have a Sekonic C100 spectrometer and measuring the 50RS and all the lights here. They usually say these lights are spot on, even though they are budget lights. So whether you are a beginner or have a small YouTube channels, this light will do just fine. But even if you are a big pro or have a bunch of lights, because I have so many lights here that I don't even know what to do with these lights, but there are some cases that I can't take my big softboxes, my big lights. I've seen some corporate videos that I have to do. The room is so tiny that this GVM lights here are perfect because nothing else fits there. So I actually use these little panels on my production along with my big panels on my big softbox, depending on the size of the production. So I think these lights can actually be useful for everybody because the color accuracy, even though those are lower price and light, the actual color accuracy here is pretty good. Plus you have a little effect here, you have the CCT, the RGB, you know, a little combination of everything here. And also these lights now, they are Bluetooth, which leaves your phone free of internet, so you can still get your emails and everything while using this light here, which I think is another big improvement that GVM makes over those lights here. Call me old school, but I'm still a huge fan of the actual remote control because sometimes I don't want to be locking and unlock my phone and then it's too bright outside, it's difficult to see the display here, plus I can actually risk of dropping my phone on the ground. So I still prefer remote control. But if you want to operate this lights here wirelessly, you can actually access the app, or you can actually make this light here as a master slave. So let's talk about the master slave first real quick here. So you set one of these lights here as a master and the other 2, 3 or 4. I think you can actually run either 12 or 16 lights at the same time. That's the limit of this. Now here I have this light set to master, channel 01, and the other light set to slave, also channel 01. And also another thing that I noticed here with the Bluetooth lights, a big improvement that they made here, the response is actually a lot quicker than the Wi-Fi, so the delay is very minimal. So I'm actually at 1% here right now. As you can see, the lights do the same exact thing, and then you can actually crank it up, or you can actually change the color temperature to daylight or tungsten. You press the button in the back here, you switch to RGB, and then you actually do your intensity and also the colors here, as you can see. And also you notice that the new lights here, the transition is a lot smoother because the first GVM series, you see that jump, you know, as soon as you change, especially at the lower percentage, because with the light at 100% is easier, but when you set the light to lower percentage, like I'm talking about the very first GVM lights, as soon as you change from blue to like magenta, is that what it is next here? Yeah, magenta. You see the big jump. It was like boom, boom, boom. Nobody liked that, so they actually improved that as well. So I'm actually at 1%, so 0, 1%. Let's do 3% so it actually gets a little nicer there. So I'm turning the colors here. There's no jumps. This is a huge improvement, especially in low budget lighting. So it's very useful. In case you are in a scene there, tell your assistant to be quiet with the crack, 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 crack. You know, you can actually do this here. I mean, you can hear, but you know what I'm saying. But you can actually do a gradual transition in the middle of an actual scene while your cameras are rolling with this, which is pretty cool. And press the button again, you are back to the CCT or intensity, whatever, and switch back to daylight. Now, just in case you wonder how to access the effects here without using the app, you're probably going to be here all day without figuring it out, because none of you guys read the manual anyway. So to access the effects here, which by the way, welcome, press and hold this button here for several seconds and then watch the corner left display here. Right now we are on the party effect, which there are 8 effects on this light here. And to change the effects, to access to any number, simply quickly tap this button here, and then it goes back to the effect number 1 through the effect number 8. And to exit here, just, you guessed it, press and hold for several seconds, you are out of the effects here, you go back to CCT mode, for example. And if you are on the RGB here, if you want to access the effects, the same deal, press and hold this button here, there you go, and to exit, it takes you back to CCT mode. Now, to control this light using the app, all you have to do is to set the first light as app on the back of the light there, press the mode button, and also over here, this light's again set to slave. Alright, to operate this light using the app, let's launch the app, which is the GVM LED 2. So click on it. Then you're going to see a list of Bluetooth here. So you're going to see BT LED and a bunch of little numbers here. And also a second BT LED, but I think GVM, they should make different Bluetooth ID, because I have a GVM light that's in front of here that has nothing to do with these lights here. And if I click on that, I accidentally connected that light on the app. So I'm guessing is this one here. Let's say connect. See what happens. Yes, okay, good. So let's set it to 1% for exposure purposes here. Now, right now I have the app on channel 1, and all these lights currently are set to channel 1 here. So you can actually control all of them together, and the delay is minimal here compared to the Wi-Fi ones here. You can also turn them on and turn them off with the power button here. Right now I'm on tungsten, switch to daylight right here. You can also change to the HSI and do your colors here. And again, they're very gradual, no jumps. See that? Very slightly. As you increase the percentage here, at least like 10%, it's going to be even more gradual like this. I'm doing fast, but as you can see, it's a lot better than before. When you actually crank it up to like 40%, the transition is even smoother there. And the scene mode, you can actually control all the apps here. Of course, they got the cop car, the lightning, and the candlelight, and of course your intensity here, the TV, the party. I'm not gonna go too long with this here, because these effects here, they are the same exact thing as my other reviews. They display the same exact effect. Nothing has changed here. And go back to the CCT here. Now here's the thing, because a lot of people wish they could actually control this light separate. I think now you can sort of control them separate. It's not a perfect thing, but at least it's better than, because before you could either control all of them or none of them, right? So one interesting thing that I found here, as I am changing the channel on the very left side of the app here, this light here will change to channel 3, for example, right now, because this is the one that's set to app mode. The other ones had to be set as slave, so nothing will happen there. And then if you change to channel 7 here, for example, the light is automatically updated on the back as channel 7. So when you are on channel 1, all these lights, they're going to be doing the same thing, right? Let me change the channel here. Now this light here is on channel 3, and this light here is on channel 1, so you can actually control them both at the same time. But this particular light here has to be always on channel 1. You can also change the channel on the other light. So this way here, I have this light to channel 1, and this light I just changed to channel 3. So you can actually do whatever. Your RGB things here, go back to CCT, turn them off, turn them back on, and as you can see, the light is not responding there, right? Now, I'm gonna change the channel to channel 4, maybe. So let's see what happens now. Only this light is actually being controlled. When you switch to channel 4 on the app, you can actually control now this light and finally that one right there. See that? Now I got it. Okay, cool. So if you want to control all 3, they have to be in the same channel as the app. If you want to control just this one and that one, they have to be on the same channel. So let's say, for example, now I want to change it to channel 12. I'm gonna have to change this light here, for example, to channel 12. Hold on. All right, let's see what happens. There you go, as I suspected. All right, so let's change to channel 9. There you go. All right, you can actually control at least 2 of these lights. Another way to do this, if you got some phones laying around, you can actually use 3 iPhones or 3 Android phones controlling each one of these lights. So to summarize here, you can control all 3 lights as long as they're on the same channel. If you want to control this one and this one here, right now I happen to be at channel 9 on the application. Set this one also to channel 9. If you want to control that light, set it to another channel. Let's say it's channel 4, and then go back to the app here and switch back to channel 4, and then you're controlling this one and that one. In the top diskette little icon here on the very top right of the app, you click this thing and then scene 01. Before I do that, let's set this here to 21%, and then I want this whole thing at 3200 degrees Kelvin, and then you hit the diskette here, save, like tungsten. There you go. So let's say I'm doing something else here. You click My Scenes and then hit the play. It goes back to the same 21% intensity at 3200 degrees Kelvin. If you want to do on the HSI this particular color here, and this much intensity and the saturation 100%, click on the diskette here, and then you can name it as the RGB fave. Then hit OK. So when you are on CCT here or whatever it is you're doing, click on My Scenes again. Here's your RGB. It goes back to the same exact settings that you did. And again, if you want to control this light here, make sure right now I'm on channel 4. If you change this channel here to channel 4, this light will operate together with this ones here. Now, if you happen to have an 800D here, as you can see, the blue display on the back there, that means that's a Wi-Fi light. So if you try to connect this light with the 850Ds, that's not going to work because Wi-Fi belongs to Wi-Fi only and the Bluetooth lights belong to the Bluetooth lights only. That's not going to work. So GVM makes their own dedicated softbox for these lights here. So if you're curious to see the behind the scenes here, you actually remove this grid. It very easily comes off. Now to put this back here, they provide enough room here, Velcro, for the grid. So I'm doing it pretty quick here. So as you can see, it takes seconds. It can even be a pretty setup if you actually take another 15-20 seconds additional. And to show you guys what's behind the whole thing here is the actual panel. Everything comes off very easily. And you can just adjust like this here. It looks like that. It comes with the little straps on the back here. You can actually do this. The softbox is out. And to collect the softbox, you just fold it in half like this and another half. And you can actually neatly place the Velcros right here and the other one right there, as you can see here, and this goes right here. So it's a very nice and neat setup. And this comes with the case, and you fit the softbox itself, the diffuser, and also the grid here. It comes with the Velcro here, seal it up, good to go. And as you know, or just so you know, the larger the light source, the softer the light is, and the closer the light is to you, the softer the light is as well. So you can actually make a small light into a bigger light as long as you bring it close to you. If you want to use just the single light here with the softbox that GVM makes, or any other softbox or anything that you think that you will fit here, or if you want to attach a diffuser here, try to bring this light as close as possible to your face. Another option is to put 2 of those lights here behind one of those translucent reflected discs, and then you can actually put the lights behind the disc, which provides you a more powerful and also a larger light source, and use the third light either as a hair light or as a background light. So in this example here, I have all 3 lights here. They're out of the shot. I'm using this one here with the optional GVM Softbox, and the light is set to 5600 degrees Kelvin at 70%. This light over here is at 4200 degrees Kelvin, which gives me a slightly warmer kind of a backlight coming here, and that's set to 50%. And this light here behind me is set to the RGB, about 7 feet away from the background, set to 100%. And here's a little behind the scenes. I have both panels set to 100% full brightness, both panels behind this translucent disc here. I'm shooting at ISO 850. I'm shooting with a rather dark lens. This is a Canon 24-105, and the camera is shooting at 30 frames per second. Now I'm pretty sure most of you guys love the super wide aperture anyway, so usually probably film at f1.4 or f1.8, which means at least 2 stops brighter than this scenario right here. So you can actually back this up a lot further and still have the same result here with this thing out of the shot. Now I would guess you came to watch this video here primarily to see how much brighter this light gets over the GVM 850D, and this is exactly what I'm going to do next. Again, I don't have a lux meter, but with the f-stop meter also should give you a pretty good idea how much brighter this light can get over the 850D. Now we're doing a brightness comparison here. On the left side is the 850D, on the right side is the 800D. They're both set to 100%. As you can see here on the left here, you can see the zebra here, which is a lot brighter than the other one here. All right, so here's the brightness test with the slides here. They're both set to 100%, running at 5600K. Same exact thing here, 100%, 5600 degrees Kelvin. And they're the same distance, about 27 inches right here, or 70 centimeters roughly. And this one here is about the same distance, 27 inches or roughly 70 centimeters. Now I'm gonna be grabbing my light meter to show you the actual readings here. Right now, let me reset this here. There you go. And from the center here, I should be getting, let's find the sweet spot, there you go, F8. And right here, I am getting, let me find a sweet spot right here, F16. Now let's say that you have whatever light panel that you have here. It can be this light here, it can be a huge panel, it doesn't matter, as long as it is the same distance here, for example. If you try to gain a full f-stop, you're going to have to approach the panel at least 100% closer than it was before to obtain that one f-stop. So to make this light here to get to the F16 that you saw here, you will need two of these panels set to parallel here, both at 100% to double the intensity, which is going to be a whole f-stop brighter. Now to put into practice, see what I just said here. Now I have the both 850Ds together, as close as possible to each other, and angled so the beam can actually hit a single spot on the projection screen right there. And as you can see, they're both at 100%, same color temperature, same exact deal here. Now the previous reading was F16 with a single 850D alone, so I'm gonna be actually try to get as close as possible to the center here. We should get at F22, so its spot is right here. There you go, F22. So this is exactly one f-stop. Now if I wanted to go F32 here, I would need actually two more of these panels at the same distance to actually raise to the next reading of right here. So that's the end of my review, and I hope you found this content useful in your decision in purchasing these lights here, whether if you want to stick with your older GVM 800D or if you're completely new to GVM lights or whatever that is. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. That tells me that I'm doing a good job here. If you want to subscribe to the channel, I will thank you twice. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please drop them down in the comment section. I'll respond to everything that I see there. Once again, thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time.